Hey guys, welcome back for another episode. Today I was watching Gamester81's video on his top 20 most rare and valuable games in his collection, and I thought it'd be fun to do a video like that myself. So I'm going to show you some of the more rare and valuable items in my collection, but I will say these are the prices off of eBay, what they've been selling for. I looked at the completed listings, and that's kind of where I pulled my prices from. Some of the stuff is more rare than others, and so keep that in mind. I tried to go by a certain price point of what I was going to show. So, alright, here's the first item. It is Steel Battalion for Xbox, the original Xbox, and this is the green button controller. It's considered the more rare of the two. There's one with blue buttons, but the whole setup here, this is the controller, the game, the foot pedals, everything. It goes complete in box anywhere from $200 to $300. Alright, I'm sure you're all familiar with Earthbound for Super Nintendo. Earthbound, as you know, has been really going for crazy prices on eBay. A lot of people are afraid that Earthbound's going to go down in price once that it's released on the Wii Virtual Console. But Earthbound's kind of a funny game because it is so well liked and has such a cult following that I think the collectors are going to keep the value up there. Most people want a copy of Earthbound for their personal collections, and they don't get rid of it very easily. So it's not something that's readily available when you're going out and looking. Most of the time it's only collectors that are selling their copy for various reasons, but I think the price may go down a tad bit, but I'd still say that it's going to be in the same region as it is now, and Earthbound's going anywhere from $500 to $700. Alright, and kind of sticking along the same lines with the Super Nintendo, we have Chrono Trigger. Not really a rare game, but it's kind of in the same category as Earthbound because it's not rare, but it's so well liked and has such a cult following that it keeps its value. Probably a year or two ago, you could get Earthbound anywhere from $80 to $100, and complete in box now it's going really around $200 or more, complete in box like this is. And unlike Earthbound, Chrono Trigger has had multiple releases on different platforms. It has had the Wii Virtual Console release already, and it's also been released on the Nintendo DS. And those were out prior to when I bought this game, and it has continued to steadily increase in price. So that's why I don't think Earthbound's going to change that much. So Chrono Trigger is definitely going up. Alright, next on Super Nintendo is Ogre Battle March of the Black Queen. This is a really popular tactical RPG, and it's another one that's pretty hard to come by. I think this was released pretty late in the Super Nintendo's life cycle, and it had a limited release compared to a lot of the other games. And right now this is going anywhere from $100 to I think around $150 for this game. Alright, and also for Super Nintendo I have Lufia, and the Lufia games complete in box can go anywhere from $100 to $120 or $30. Really good RPGs, and from what I find on Super Nintendo, RPGs always hold their value very well, and this one's no exception to the rule. Lufia 1 and Lufia 2 for Super Nintendo seems to be going for a little bit more than Lufia 1 is. I don't know if there was a limited release on this game, but it goes anywhere from $120 to $130. You'll see Lufia 1 go for a little bit less than $100, but definitely a good RPG. Not necessarily as rare as some of the games on Super Nintendo, but it's, you know, everybody wants their RPGs to have them complete and one for their collection. It's just something that a lot of people don't part with, and you just don't see them out in the wild very much. Alright, here's one that's becoming increasingly hard to find, and it is a more rare Super Nintendo game, and that's Castlevania X. Castlevania X has gone, probably in the last year, from going for around $100 to $130 to now it's going upwards of $200, $225, $250 in that range. Prices are getting really crazy on this one. I was lucky to get mine several years ago, and I'm glad I snagged it when I did, because now there's just no way I'd be willing to pay the prices that they're asking for Castlevania X now. But it's a really good game. If you haven't played it, check it out if you have the means. Another classic RPG for the Super Nintendo, but not necessarily quite so rare, but, you know, just like the other ones, is Super Mario RPG. One of the best RPGs for the platform, and the price really, you know, the game really commands probably a $100 to $150 price range. Somewhere in between there is what I'm saying most of these go for. It's really gone up. I actually found Super Mario RPG in the wild game hunting one day on a Craigslist ad, and what I did for mine, I think I got it for maybe $5 or $10, and I found somebody that was just selling the manual and the box and the insert, and so I was able to make a complete copy for myself. I think I did it for around $60, so that was a really good deal. Alright, next for Super Nintendo we have King of Dragons by Capcom. This game has been fluctuating a lot recently. It's pretty hard to find out in the wild when you're game hunting, but it's been going anywhere from 60 to 80, all the way up to maybe 120, 130. It just kind of fluctuates on how many people are looking for it at that time. But the game is really good. It's a beat 'em up similar to Golden Axe on Sega Genesis. Really good gameplay. You have more characters to choose from than you did in Golden Axe on Sega Genesis, but really fun game. Try it out if you haven't played it, but highly recommend this. Alright, the last game I wanted to show you for Super Nintendo is one that I've been looking for a very long time, and I had to really watch eBay for a long time before I found one that I was comfortable getting, and never seen it out in the wild. And it's just a really rare game for the Super Nintendo, one of the rarest you'll find these days, and the price has really skyrocketed from what I paid for it at that point in time. But that is EVO for Super Nintendo. When I first heard about this game, I was really intrigued because it's kind of a mix between an RPG and a platformer, and just like in its name, EVO or Evo or Evolution, it's kind of what it's the abbreviation for. You get to start out with a life form, and as time moves on through millions of years, your life form takes on certain traits and kind of becomes your own personal creature, however you've played it. And a really interesting concept by Enix back in the day. And the price, what I paid for it back then, was maybe somewhere around $100, and you just don't see this game anywhere. And the prices have just skyrocketed recently. With, you know, I paid maybe $100 for it, and now I've seen just the cartridge itself go for $200 or more. Complete in box, it's gone anywhere from $400 to $500 or more. And, you know, it's a really hard game to come by. I think they printed a small release of this when it came out. It came out pretty late in the life cycle of the Super Nintendo. So, really lucky to own this. A really great part of my collection. Great game.